Have you ever been tired from walking up a flight of stairs? I know I have. And I know many other Americans can relate. I've been trying to live a healthier lifestyle, and that's led me to learning about Japan. Japan leads in major health categories, so it's understandable that the Japanese people live a healthy lifestyle. Today, I'll be talking about some of those major health categories that Japan leads in. Then I'll talk about how the Japanese people eat healthy, and finally, I'll close things out with how the Japanese people get exercise. With that being said, let's get started. So, one of the two major health categories Japan leads in is obesity rates. According to OECD.org by OECD, Japan has a 3.7% obesity rate, whereas America has a 38.2% obesity rate. That is a 30% plus difference. With such a difference in obesity rates, there has to be something different in foods or culture, and that's something we'll talk about later. Another major health category Japan leads in is life expectancy. According to Lola Butcher from Knowledgeable Magazine, the life expectancy of the average Japanese person is 84.5 years. The average life expectancy for an American is 77.8 years and is on the decline. That is not good for the American people. With such differences in these categories, the first thing that came to mind was the foods they eat. The Japanese people eat a healthy lifestyle, whereas Americans eat everything. According to Janaki from IndiaTimes.org, the Japanese people's food revolves around a pescatarian diet. Kind of obvious, right? They live on an island. Makes sense. But the food they eat is a lot healthier, mostly because their main dish is a bowl of rice and a side of seaweed. Seaweed contains 2 to 9 grams of protein. This is what their seaweed looks like. You can see that? So they eat over 1 million tons of this 2 to 9 grams of protein, which is really good for their body. And then according to Janaki as well, they also eat on average 1,000 less calories than the average American person. So the average American male were to eat 2,500 calories, the Japanese male would eat 1,500 calories. So not only do the Japanese people eat healthier and eat less, they also exercise more. According to Kaki from Knowledgeable Magazine as well, the Japanese people take 6,500 steps a day, whereas the average American person takes 3,000 to 4,000 steps. Americans live a sedated lifestyle on average. That is not good. And then according to Thomas Reek from Tricken.co, the Japanese people have a nationally broadcast exercise station that appears in the morning every day. So every day before work, from 6 to 8 a.m., there's a nationally broadcasted radio station that is involved in jumping jacks, planks, you know the point, squats. So before they get to work, they get a bit of exercise in, so they live a healthy lifestyle, obviously. So before we close things out, I want to talk about some things we reviewed. So for one, the Japanese people lead in two major health categories. They lead in obesity rates and they lead in life expectancy. Another thing we talked about was the Japanese people eating really healthy. They eat 2 to 9 gram protein of seaweed, and then they also eat less than the average American person. And finally, we close things out with how the Japanese people get exercise. On average, they take nearly 2,000 to 3,000 more steps than the average American person, and then they also exercise before work in the morning. With that being said, if you're looking to lead a healthier lifestyle, it may be best to look outward of the United States, just because America is not the healthiest country. And here is my works cited page. Here's my works cited page. And then here was my note card.